Good evening, everyone. Today we have with us Dr. Alpna Kansal, who is the president of Ghaziabad Obstetric and Gynecological Society. Since it is World Thalassemia Day today, Dr. Kansal will enlighten us about the ways in which thalassemia can be prevented. It would be great if we avoid crosstalks during the presentation. Questions, if any, can be answered after the presentation.
Thank you, Agrima. And hello, friends. As you all know, today no one talks anything about anything other than Corona. We had life before Corona as well, and there will be life after Corona as well. So there are not many things to be addressed. There are not many things to be addressed other than Corona. And today, as you know, there is 8th of May is the World Thalassemia Day, and Ghaziabad Obstetric and Gynecological Society has come together with Clinical Research Committee of FOGSI to produce this awareness programs for thalassemia. And this year's theme is Thalassemia Free India. So we walk forward to this thalassemia awareness program to make Thalassemia Free India. World Thalassemia Day is celebrated every year on 8th of May to commemorate thalassemia victims and to encourage those who struggle to live with the disease. What thalassemia is? Thalassemia is derived from the Greek word thalassa, meaning ocean, as the patients were first identified along the coast of Mediterranean Sea by the leading scientists Lee and Cooper in 1925. It is an inherited genetic blood disorder, which means inherited means it comes from your parents, from your ancestry, and blood disorder means it is a disease of the blood, where patients cannot produce adequate healthy hemoglobin, resulting in need for continuous blood transfusion. The blood which saves their lives, it creates an iron overload in the system, and the excess iron must be chelated out of their system, means it should be taken away from their system, and the process is both painful and very costly. Mild thalassemia doesn't need any treatment, and thalassemia carriers are not patients at all. But few minor symptoms in thalassemia minors could be severe, could be fatigue, weakness, pale skin, facial deformities, slow growing children, abdominal swelling, and dark urine. And you can take steps to cope with these minor problems by choosing a healthy diet and exercising regularly. More severe forms may require regular blood transfusion throughout life. To understand thalassemia, as you know, it is a blood disorder and disorder of hemoglobin. So we should know what actually hemoglobin is. Hemoglobin is a highly specialized molecule in red blood cells, and it has two components. Heme at 4 in number. The chains, globin chains, are identical to alpha chains and identical to beta chains. Heme is an iron porphyrin compound. Each chain contains heme in so-called heme pocket, and some 30 abnormal types of hemoglobin have been reported. So as you know, hemoglobin, there are various types of hemoglobin. We should know about the types of hemoglobin A, F, and A2. Hemoglobin A is the 97% hemoglobin present in adults. Hemoglobin F, it is at birth, it contains 2 alpha and 2 gamma chains, and newborns have 70 to 90% of hemoglobin F. By 1 year of age, it comes down to only less than 2%. And hemoglobin A2 is 2 alpha chains and 2 delta chains. Normal adult hemoglobin also has, normal adults also have hemoglobin A2 from 1.5 to less than 3.5%. High percentage of hemoglobin A2 indicates that you could be a thalassemia carrier or a trait. Since it is a hereditary disease. That means it has something to do with our genes. So, what are the genes responsible for our globin chains? Gene beta, gene for beta chain is located on chromosome 11, and gene for alpha chain is located on chromosome 16. Thalassemia is a group of disorders where there is manufacturing defect at the genes which synthesize globin. There are more than 200 mutations known to cause thalassemia all over the world. Decrease in alpha globin chains causes alpha thalassemia. Decrease in beta globin chains causes beta thalassemia. Thalassemia can range from minor, intermediate to major forms. Thalassemia, beta thalassemia major is a homozygous disorder with significant imbalance of alpha and beta globin chains, and it presents with severe anemia early in life. And these children, they require RBC blood transfusions throughout the life. The minor forms are asymptomatic or really they do not need any treatment, and intermediate is intermediate in between the two. A thalassemia child requires regular, every monthly filtrated red blood cell transfusions, and because of these transfusions, the iron overload in their body, they have to take iron chelation therapy in the form of desferoxamine, which is given as subcutaneous injections for 8 hours every day for 5 to 6 days a week to chelate the iron load in their body. So it brings a lot of physical suffering to these children and to their families. In 15 years of lifespan, a thalassemic child requires more than 250 units of packed red blood cells, more than 4,000 injections of desferoxamine, and more than 40,000 hours of needles in their body. So imagine the suffering they undergo. And apart from it, the financial burden is also there. Regular iron chelation therapy, regular blood transfusions, and vaccinations for prevention of infections will cost a family 90,000 to a lakh annually per child. And the only curative treatment is bone marrow or stem cell transplantation, which costs around 10 to 15 lakhs and is not 100% successful. So remember, this child says, horrible, oh, this is so horrible. I would never like to have this future for myself. So now coming on to how a thalassemic child is born. We have known what thalassemia is. Now we want to know how a thalassemic child is born. So you can see these 4 charts. The first chart, in the first chart, you see red is thalassemia and white is normal person. A thalassemic, if marries to a normal person, all the children will be carriers. None will be suffering from disease. A carrier, if marries a carrier, there are 25% chances of a child suffering from thalassemia major. And if a major marries a major, all children would be thalassemia majors. And if a thalassemia major marries a carrier, there are 50% chances that the child will be born as thalassemia major. So, should the traits not marry? No. The traits should marry a normal person or a non-carrier. Traits means thalassemia carriers, trait carriers. And if a trait marries a normal person, all the children will be normal. Means either they will be carriers or they will be non-carriers and normal persons. So what is the magnitude of problem? Worldwide, around 250 million people are carriers of beta thalassemia. That is around 1.5% of the total world population. This is a big number. Approximately 15 million people are expected to suffer from thalassemia major 1 year every year 1 lakh children are born with thalassemia major. And if you consider our country in India, in every hour, one thalassemia major child is born, and approximately 10,000 of new thalassemic patients are born in India every year. In India, thalassemia trait accounts for 4%, and soon it can go up to 17%. Means 1 out of every 8 to 10% in India is a victim of thalassemia. And if ignorance about thalassemia is not eradicated fast, sure, there will be an epidemic to come. And if you consider beta thalassemia traits spread all over country, Punjab accounts for 6.5%, Gujarat 10 to 15%, Delhi 2.2 to 9.2%, Assam 5%, Gujarat 10 to 15%, and Kerala 0.6%. The traits are very common in Sindhis and Bensalis. So, what are the aims and objectives of our awareness, or how do we go about it? So, our aims are to diagnose thalassemia carrier status before pregnancy, if not before pregnancy, at least at conception, to reduce the incidence of thalassemia by genetic counseling, to prevent birth of a thalassemic major baby by prenatal diagnosis, and to set up centers for prevention, diagnosis, and management. So, what are the challenges for a thalassemic free India? They are multifold, like the arms of this octopus. Lack of screening, lack of education, social factors, lack of experts, lack of genetic centers, lack of fetal medicine centers, lack of national policy, and lack of funds. Carrier should not marry a carrier. So the take-home message should be: carrier should not marry a carrier if unavoidable due to cultural and social reasons, or diagnosed to be carriers after marriage, then prenatal screening should be offered. For couples who undergo already have an affected child, are advised to have pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, which will avoid the psychological stress associated with termination of pregnancy. And lack of well-equipped labs and genetic centers should be paid heed to. Illiteracy is a big challenge for prevention of thalassemia, and that's why we should have more and more of awareness programs regarding this. Lack of prenatal screening, detection of carrier state seems to be a stigma to the life. Like, like we come across our patients who are thalassemia traits and ask them to check their children for thalassemia traits. They don't do this because the reason is they say, यार इसकी शादी कैसे होगी मैडम, कोई शादी नहीं करेगा if she is a carrier or if he is a carrier. So this stigma should not be there. Lack of preconception counseling due to lack of knowledge, late antenatal bookings and funds, and the fear factor for screening method, as I already told you. So now we come on to how do we identify the carrier. So the tests are very simple and very easy to be done. We all undergo complete blood count, which we call as CBC, sometime in life or the other, and a low MCV, that is mean corpuscular volume, less than 75, and MCH less than 25, indicates that it could be a thalassemia trait. Menser index, which is a magic figure, MCV upon total RBC. If it is less than 13, it points to a thalassemia carrier. And how to confirm it? There is hemoglobin electrophoresis is the gold standard screening test for hemoglobin A2 levels to diagnose thalassemic carriers. If hemoglobin level more than 3.5%, it means it could be a thalassemia carrier. And how to confirm? Then the confirmation is done by genetic analysis, that is DNA analysis. And now, as we know, we have diagnosed who is the carrier, so we come on to The next question is carrier should never marry a carrier. Instead of doing a Janam Kundli Milan, we should do a medical Kundli Milan. As you see depicted by this poster, medical Kundli Milan is not only for thalassemia traits, it is also for ABO incompatibility, infectious diseases like HIV, hepatitis B, syphilis, rubella, genetic disorders, diabetes, hypertension, anemia, obesity, and undernutrition. So we stick to thalassemia only. Look at this poster. Dhruv and Sonia are talking to each other. Dhruv says to Sonia, "Will you marry me?" Sonia says, "I am a thalassemic trait. You first do a simple blood test to test yourself for thalassemia." Dhruv says, "Why?" Sonia? Sonia says, "If you are also a thalassemia trait, then we can have a thalassemic baby." So, as responsible citizens, we should not be ignorant and we should be able to take decision whether we wish to feed our child with milk or blood. Now, if at all the traits they marry and or they do not know that they are traits before their marriage, so we have, though not simple but invasive tests to diagnose whether the child in the womb is a thalassemia carrier. The tests are chorionic villus biopsy. There are a simple test which take out the piece from the placenta of the child, and they are subjected to testing, genetic testing. It is done at 11 to 13 weeks of pregnancy. Now the research is going on non-invasive test, NIPT, non-invasive prenatal testing to diagnose these children from mother's blood test. But these are still under research. And those um, couples who have had a previous thalassemic child, they don't want to undergo abortion time and again. They can be subjected to pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. It is a process done by IVF. Like they undergo IVF, and during that we check the embryo whether the embryo which is produced is a thalassemia major carrying genes. If it is, we don't implant it, and if it is a normal embryo, then we implant it. That is a test tube baby, by a test tube baby. So we have discussed so many things till now. So what is the solution of this major problem? The solution is preventing the birth of a thalassemia child, and prevention is the only answer. And this prevention we can take up as a teamwork by obstetrician, genetist, social workers, ultrasonologist, pathologist, pediatrician, and genetic counselors. Awareness programs for development of knowledge and attitude of the society, doctors, paramedical staff, counselors should give information regarding premarital counseling, prenatal diagnosis by pamphlets, videos, slides, slideshows, social media, conferences, seminars, and so on. And what is the role of us obstetricians in this whole process? Our role is to educate families to test their kids for the carrier status, and if we find the women to be carriers when they come for delivery, premarital counseling to the couples, preconception counseling, prenatal testing, and pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, and social awareness programs. You all Amitabh Bachchan married to Jaya Bachchan, who is a non-carrier, and the children are non-carriers as well. So our motto is stop thalassemia. We should all take pledge to stop thalassemia. We should take pledge to screen ourselves for thalassemia. Let us take pledge to donate blood for thalassaemic children who need our help. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patient hearing.